Celtics tie a franchise playoff record with 19 made three-pointers and overcome an early 16-0 deficit and win it tonight in Game 1, 123-111. They take a 1-0 lead in the Washington Wizards in their second round series, the conference semifinals. Postgame has begun right here on NBA TV. Good to have you with us. Rick Fox right over there, Karan Butler, Derek Harper. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. What a turnaround for the Celtics team. I know 16-point leads are not insurmountable in the NBA, but it feels a lot worse when it's 16-0 to start. Absolutely.
And, Washington got out to a great start. They did a great job of, getting out there, moving the ball, led by John Wall, Gortat, Bradley Beal. Porter was making shots, all of them. But, Boston did a great job of just playing defensively, possession by possession, not going for the home run and just getting back into their style and then they brand of basketball and they walked them down.
What turned it around?
Obviously when you fall behind the way that the Celtics fell behind, it's your defense. You find a way to get stops, you start to make shots, and I think what helped them also is that Washington continued to be perimeter opposed to attacking and trying to get easier baskets, and give Boston a lot of credit. They stayed focused, stayed the course of who they are, and got themselves back in this contest.
It was interesting early on. It was Washington mostly on the interior. Gortat was really effective after not being a scorer much at all in the first round series against Atlanta. In the first quarter, Gortat was 4 of 6, 9 points, 3 boards, a couple of offensive rebounds as well. Boston was able to clean that up. They made a lineup change. Joe Green lasted about 2.5 minutes before they took him out in that first quarter. And maybe that set the tone for the rest of the series. I don't know. We'll see. But it's interesting how things turned around and how Brad Stevens moved the chess pieces around during this game.
Yeah, a couple things stood out to me as well. Gortat, yes, was a pleasant surprise considering what we just watched in the Atlanta series. But if we look back to the Atlanta series, we also recall Markieff Morris being absent at times, which spelled a huge difference for the Hawks in their success. Markieff Morris goes down with that leg injury. Tides turn there, and I don't want to take away from the dynamic play of the entire roster from the Celtics, but there's that absence there. It made them thinner. We were talking about Kelly Oubre as a bench player needing to bring something to this game. He was the only player with 12 points from the bench that gave anything up until a point, until Bojan came in. So there were all these points in this game, in this first game, you can look to where the tide kept turning and swinging in different ways. So I think the series will go that way.
Sure.
I don't think the Wizards were ever fully out of it. But when you think of the stretch of Al Horford's play down the wire, some big shots made, even Jaylen Brown coming in the game and he knocked the shot from
for 40 minutes.
So,
he comes in,
so everyone played a role in this right now. And it'll be interesting to see where Markieff Morris is in the equation if he's going to be in the next game.
Yeah, it's never as simple as one thing, but the Wizards led by 10 when Morris went down, never returned to the game, and they lose it 123-111. Let's take a look at the highlight and how things played out. Game 1 in Boston. Quick turnaround for everybody, and just an impossible weekend for Isaiah Thomas. Played Friday night in Chicago. Saturday, he was at his younger sister's funeral back in the Seattle area. Came back to Boston to take on the Wizards and played well. It's remarkable how he's been able to produce and keep his focus throughout all this. As I mentioned, Wizards come out red hot, scored the first 16 points, and at this point it's 20-3 as Wall is working over IT.
Skates for John Wall that time against Isaiah Thomas.
And then things just get worse for Boston early on as Isaiah Thomas loses a tooth. Otto Porter inadvertently caught him with that right elbow as he was trying to chase him around the screen. He picks up the tooth and retrieves it.
A little easier than finding the contact.
And eventually they put it back in, apparently.
First time for everything in that situation, picking your teeth up off the floor and passing it on.
Loses the tooth, but gained the touch there as he knocks down the 3. And then Kelly Olynyk inside on the lob. Jay Crowder.
Role players producing.
6 of 8 from the great beyond, Jay Crowder. Game tied at 42. Boston tied it a bunch of different times, but wouldn't take the lead until the third quarter. Here's Morris rising up for the jumper. and comes down on Al Horford's ankle. You're supposed to give the shooter room to come down. Not an intentional play by Horford, you wouldn't think, but you are supposed to give the shooter room to come down. He didn't have it, turned the ankle. You see Horford came over to say, sorry, my bad. But Morris was done for the afternoon. Meanwhile, Thomas shows the poise. Third quarter was all C's.
I thought they did an exceptional job coming out after the slow start in the first, understanding where they were going to gain their advantage on the defensive end, but then Isaiah Thomas just put them on their back.
So they took their first lead there at 73-71. Boston won the quarter 36-16. And the rebounding completely turned around in this game. Washington pounded them on the boards early on. They wound up even at 38 rebounds apiece. Bradley Beal with a bucket. He got hot in the fourth quarter as the Wizards start on a 15-4 run, scored the first 9 points of the fourth. Bojan Bogdanovic comes in, 10 points in just under 2 minutes in a stretch.
That's getting it done from an offensive perspective.
That got him within 4. But the Celtics would put it away. Al Horford wide open for 3. He does so much for this team and finished a rebound shy of a triple-double. Avery Bradley with the steal. We're going the other way. It's Crowder with another 3. Crowder with the bucket. He had 24.
Big game for Jay Crowder, stepped up.
And Boston takes game 1. 123-111. They shoot 50% and 19 of 39 from three-point range.